Speaker Boehner and Leader McConnell both have put revenues on the table, and until the debate,
let's just understand. Everybody in Washington says revenues. There's increasing your tax rates, and there's finding other ways to raise tax revenue. That's and right. The distinction is important.
It is.
Because what Republicans object to is raising your tax rates, your actual marginal tax rate. So that's the distinction that you have to answer, right?
Well, you can get there in two ways. One of the ways is the way I propose, which is closing loopholes. That's a pro-growth way of getting more revenues from wealthy Americans. And I think, David, before this is all over with, there's lots of machinations. There's capital gains, there's dividends, there's all kinds of ways of looking at this, and I think cooler heads will prevail. I think we will resolve this, and that's the very best thing we can do to get our... Well, I think that's right. I mean, the administration has put something out that polls well, taxing the wealthy. What they haven't done is anything to deal with entitlements, which is painful, and you're not going to have a deal until that happens. Most Americans don't realize that the average family in America today pays into Medicare throughout their lifetime $119,000 in today's dollars. They take out over their lifetime in today's dollars $357,000. And so the president has laid nothing out there to change that dynamic. Right. Well, until we get to entitlements, we're really not having a serious discussion. And David, all of us know what the options are. They're not going to get more narrow as time goes on. I mean, they're going to get more narrow as time goes on and more draconian. What you mentioned earlier about a deal where we solve this fiscal cliff by creating another fiscal cliff down the road is totally immature. It lacks political courage. We all know what we need to do, and let's get it done over the next 3 weeks. The options are not going to change. I mean, we really have to look at much deeper reforms to entitlements, and I would say that Speaker Boehner's biggest problem is not his base. It's having a willing partner on the other side that's really willing to look at these kinds of reforms. And I think that's going to happen. I think there's a possibility anyway. But I don't think it's his base. I think the Speaker is frustrated right now because, as you've mentioned, the White House keeps spiking the ball on tax increases for the wealthy, but it's not yet been forthcoming on real entitlement reform. And without the two, there really is no deal.